Hello everyone and welcome to this demo. Today we will learn how we can customize the existing project detail pages of Project Server 2010. However, before we get into details of the demo, let's understand what is a PDP and what is its significance. In Project Server 2010 now, Portfolio and Project Server are both combined together as one product. The product controls the entire life cycle of a project when it passes from a proposal to qualify as a project. So Project Server now is one-stop shop for demand management, for portfolio analysis, for managing, tracking, and closing a project. So this is the basic life cycle that Project Server now supports. All proposals or requests of any kind across departments are captured at one place. These proposals are then passed through a simple workflow. At every stage, a decision is made, and the result of the decision, the proposal can be approved or it can be rejected. Once it is approved, it then gets tracked and completed, and that's how the project life cycle comes to an end. Each of these phases are mapped as per project management standards into these following 5 phases. So as you see here, we have create, select, plan, manage, and close phase. To show you how these phases are created in Project Server, let me get into the project web app and show you the details right there. So I'm going to navigate to Project Web App. This is Project Server 2010 PWA, or the Project Web App as it is called now. I will navigate to Server Settings. And here you will see we have a workflow phases as a link available. Within workflow phases, now I can see create, plan, manage, select, and finish, all the 4 phases. Each of these phases further is divided into stages. So going back to my presentation, each of the phase has respective stages, and at some stages there can be a decision made for go, no-go kind of indicator. To show you how these stages are mapped in the PWA, I go back to the interface, again get into server settings, and this time instead of choosing workflow phases, I will click on workflow stages. And these are the list of stages available within each phase. So create has these phases, finish has completed and final assessment, manage has execution, and plan has cancelled, resource planning, scheduling. Now all this that you're seeing in terms of phases and stages is shipped out of the box by Microsoft Project Server. So the moment you load Project Server, all this information will be readily available to you. At every stage, there has to be some input and there has to be some output. Now the method in which that input and output is captured corresponds to a PDP or a project detail page. So let me go back to my slide and let me talk a little about PDP. So PDP is an acronym that Microsoft Project Server gives to Project Details page. A PDP is nothing but a simple web page which is used to collect and display information. It can be a multiple web paths, it can be a single web path, it can be a Project Server web path, or it can be just a flat piece of form which collects information. So at every stage in a project life cycle, the input and the output is captured in the form of a PDP. Microsoft by default ships these many PDPs out of the box. So once you initiate a sample workflow, a proposal will pass through multiple phases and stages, and at each stage one of these PDPs will have to be filled in. If these PDPs and the existing phases stages are good for your organization, you can continue to use them. But at times a little tweaking is important. So now I will show you how any of these PDPs can be modified to include the information that your organization demands. So I'm going to go back to my PWA page, go back into the server settings, and in there let's get into project detail pages. So as I just showed you, these are the pages which are shipped out of the box. I will now pick up any one of the PDPs and modify it to include some more custom fields which I have created. I will get into the proposal summary PDP. So it's getting into the page where I can edit this PDP. By default, this page allows me to enter name, primary objectives, sample business need, and proposal cost. But the way in which my organization manages proposal cost is through some additional fields called CAPEX and OPEX. So I would like to modify this page and include CAPEX and OPEX as additional cost-based fields. In order to save time, I have already created CAPEX and OPEX as custom fields in the server settings. Both the fields are at project level and are of the type cost. I now go to Site Actions and I will choose Edit Page. It will now take me into the Edit Page mode. To show you, I can add multiple web parts to this page. Some things are already added, but if required, I can add different kind of web parts. I can add lists and libraries, business data, filters, forms. I can also add data from project web app directly. So if you want your sites to be visible as a PDP, or you want your resource assignment, resource center, my task, my timesheet, project center, any of the existing PWA web part available, you can add it to a PDP. But in this demonstration, we will not get into the details of adding new web part. I'm going to just modify the existing web part to add custom fields. So I open this small drop down here next to proposal summary, and from there I will choose edit web part. A new pane will open on the left hand side, and on the top it will show you displayed project fields, and it's showing us project name, sample business objectives, sample business needs, so on and so forth. I'll click on modify and add CAPEX and OPEX as the cost base field to this page. So a nice looking dialog box with all required custom fields appears. I'll navigate to CAPEX, add it to the selected project fields, and then I will navigate to OPEX, add that also as a selected project field. That's all. Now when I save this particular page, CAPEX and OPEX will appear below sample proposal cost for me. That's all. So my PDP page is edited. I will now stop editing this page. And CAPEX and OPEX now very neatly appear as a part of this PDP. This PDP is already associated to a specific stage and to a specific page. I beg your pardon, to a specific phase. So now when I go to the project center and try to create a new sample workflow, let's see if CAPEX and OPEX still continue to appear there. I go to new, and from there I choose sample proposal. Let me just call it demo. We can put in a start date, put in an owner, and save this. I'm just initiating a new proposal in my organization, and I want to see when I enter the details for this proposal, do I get to see CAPEX and OPEX. So the first step is to fill in the proposal summary. I go here, I put in sample objectives. Of course, this can also be modified. I can put in sample business needs. Sample proposal cost, and there you see I also have CAPEX and OPEX. Yay, my cost base fields are now appearing in the PDP. So let me just put the total cost. I put the CAPEX value, and I will also put the OPEX value. And once I save and submit this small list of initiated proposal, once it is accepted as a part of workflow, it moves on to next stages of my project lifecycle. So that's how, by modifying the PDPs slightly, you can tweak the way your organization manages a workflow and add all relevant information to it. So I hope this demo was useful to you. If you have any questions or would like to know more about Project Server, please feel free to send me an email at manmeet.chaudhary@advisorcon.com. Thank you.